If you're looking to buy or sell a home in New Jersey, contact our Coldwell Banker office in Wayne at 973-694-8000 or call Tim direct at 973-865-0249. You can also visit his website at www.homesinwaynenj.com. Tim's promise to you and your family is to provide you with exceptional real estate service while always working to exceed your expectations. And remember, at Coldwell Banker, we never stop moving. Are you an expert in your field?
Do you want your voice to be heard?
Maybe you have a great idea for a show but don't know how to do it.
Well, we can make it happen.
Email the New Jersey Podcast Guys at njpodcastguys@gmail.com. Are you purchasing or refinancing a home? Do you need a free same-day pre-approval? Then call Dean Scaduto from Coldwell Banker Home Loans at 201-322-3456. That's 201-322-3456. The New Jersey Real Estate Show is brought to you by the law offices of Joseph C. Petriello, located in Wayne, New Jersey. To contact them, call 973-890-7262. That's 973-890-7262. Welcome to the New Jersey Real Estate Show. Now, here are your hosts, Tim Waller and Matt Josephs.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the New Jersey Real Estate Show. I'm Tim Waller, your host, and sitting to my immediate left is my co-host, Matt Josephs.
Hello, Tim. How are you?
Good, Matt. How are you? He's also known as the voice of reason. I also have in studio today someone who is very dear and special to me and was very dear and special to our friend Charlie Blue as well. Bill will be with us for the next 2 episodes as we pay tribute to our very close friend and former real estate broker, owner of Blue GMAC Real Estate, Charles Blumenkehl, who's better known as Charlie Blue throughout the real estate community. I've known Bill since April of 1984, and he basically taught me the real estate business. Bill has known Charlie for 30 plus years, so I couldn't think of anyone else who I would want sitting next to me as we pay tribute to a wonderful friend, husband, father, grandfather, teacher, business owner, and entrepreneur who touched so many people during the short course of his life in such a genuine and gentle manner. This man had a personality that was larger than life. Unfortunately, our beloved friend, Charlie Blue, was called home on December 17th, 2016. He was born in Paterson, New Jersey, on July 4th, 1957. He originally started his real estate career back in 1979 at the same office as Bill and I did. In 1983, Charlie went out on his own and founded and opened Blue Realty, later to be called Blue GMAC Real Estate. And over the years, through a lot of sweat, hard work, innovation, and sacrifice, his real estate brokerage business grew into numerous real estate offices throughout New Jersey. He actually owned and managed the largest GMAC real estate brokerage in New Jersey until 2009. Bill, I know this is an emotional time for both you and I, and maybe you can tell us when you first met Charlie and tell us how your relationship started and developed over the years, because I think it's important that people get to know the same man that we were blessed to know throughout the years.
Thank you very much, Tim. I started out in real estate with Charlie in 1980. He kind of took me by the hand and taught me the business because, we were just about the same age, and the people that were in the office were obviously with not much, in common with us. But in any event, we had some great times for, the three plus years that we worked together, and eventually he left the agency that we were at and started up his own business, and he built it, all the way up to about 9 offices over a 8-9 year period.
Yeah,
roughly.
Yep.
Some of the things that kind of stand out, about Charlie was when I first started to work with him, the broker that we worked for was, I guess, success by intimidation. Am I boring you?
No, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
It's been a long day.
And he basically worked very, very hard, Charlie, and he had one day in which he took 6 binders in one day, and the next day the broker called him in and says, "You're creating too much work for my secretary, so we're going to change your split. You're now going to make 45%, and I'm going to get 55 because I got to pay that thing." Pay all of the bills.
So he virtually penalizing someone for success.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Success by intimidation.
And also, Bill, I think I remember you telling me when I first came to work there that you were actually in the retail business before you went into real estate.
Correct. I 10 years I worked in the retail business as first a stock boy, and then a manager, assistant manager, and then a manager, and then I was a district manager. And
if I remember correctly, it was Charlie that actually kept you in the business and motivated you to march on.
No doubt. There's many times when I said, I can't do this anymore, and he really kept my head on, and I continued along the path of real estate. I'm glad that I did, and I pretty much owe it all to him. After he had opened up his own office, Charlie used to call me, I would say probably once every 2 weeks, and ask me, "Am I ready for the sandwich?" That was his key to try and get my license over by him. And this went on for many, many years.
Wait, what was the sandwich?
The sandwich was like lunch. He wanted. Are you ready for the sandwich?
But that was the high sign. That would mean you're ready to come aboard.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
And it took an awful long time to obviously have that sandwich. But I guess in 2002, I eventually 2001, Tim.
2001.
2001. I ended up going over to Blue Realty. It was in October, and I can't remember the exact date, but I pulled into the parking lot, and lo and behold, Tim and Charlie are both there waiting for me. Helped me with all my stuff out of the car and showed me where my desk was going to be.
Where was this? Where was Blue Real Estate? Around Wayne?
In Riverdale.
Riverdale.
Yep.
It was in Riverdale. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you'd never meet someone who's more persistent, but I mean genuine in their persistence.
Right.
Not a nuisance, not a pain in the neck. Just religiously would check in, and I remember I used to hear him make the phone calls. He said, "What do you think? You think Bill's ready yet?" Call him again, Charlie. Call him again.
Yeah, he was persistent. One thing I got to say about Charlie is a businessman. There's nobody better at it.
Mm-hmm. Now, we were all 3 of us actually, ironically, started in that real estate office, and Bill, of course, lasted the longest out of all of us.
20 years.
I first got licensed in 1984, and that was the first place that I interviewed, and I was so thrilled that I got the job. Little did I know that they'd hire you anyway. I didn't do anything special. And I started in it part-time, and when I started making more money doing it part-time than I did full-time, I made the transition.
Sure.
But he bullied me out of the business. I got burnt out, and I went into the title business. I left New Jersey. I became the national sales manager for a title company, went to Florida. That company got bought out. I basically had nothing. I had to move back to New Jersey into an apartment in Clifton with no furniture because my furniture was locked up in a company condo out in Florida. So I spent that Christmas Eve on the floor.
Oh.
And one of the attorneys who we used to work with said, "Why don't you give Charlie a call?" So I gave Charlie a call, and at that point in time, I had placed my license with another small company. And Charlie took me out. We were at a bar in Clifton, in Allwood Road, and I said, "Look, Charlie, you know what? I got a tip today. There's a horse running at the Meadowlands Swoozy in the 6th race. If the horse doesn't win, you have my license tomorrow." He says, "You got a deal." This is a true story. That night, I go home. I'm watching, the Meadowlands, the reruns, and here it is, Swoozy in the 6th. The big tip that I got: put a lot of money on this horse to win. Coming around the 3/4 pole. The horse breaks its leg, doesn't even finish the race. So the next day, I'm at Charlie's office. Says, here's my license.
Yeah.
And that's where our relationship began back in 1987.
Okay.
Yep.
And I mean, from the way you guys are talking about him, I'm sure that you're glad that it all went out, that it worked out this way. That you,
Absolutely.
that he badgered you, that that horse broke its leg.
Well, it wasn't the sandwich, okay,
Right.
that got me there.
Right.
What happened?
That's enough to get me.
Well, no.
sandwich.
Listen. What he did is he took me to play golf. He gave me 3 strokes a hole, and if he beats me, okay, my license goes over there the next day.
Well, so this was like, an MO of his. Like
he was a competitive individual.
Okay.
The man did not like to lose.
Most competitive. Now, speaking about golf, Tim.
Yeah.
Remember that ditch you ran into with the golf cart?
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? Here he grew up in Patterson. I grew up in Hawthorne. Bill grew up in Total. We were all
neither of you knew how to
street kids. We
drive.
were all street
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
So here we are. He just joined this fancy country club. And me, I can't stay on the fairway. I'm in the woods all the time.
Right.
So
Me too.
it happened to rain excessively, I think, the day before. And where I took the cart was kind of like a swamp. And he's going, God, what are you doing? And here I am trying to push the cart out. All the mud's coming up. It's hitting me in the face. I'm all drenched in mud. We finally got the cart out of there. No one saw it, thank God. Otherwise, they would have probably threw him out of the club.
Golf cart
That's
accidents.
exactly what he said. He jumped out of the cart. He ran over, helped Tim get it out. He says, "Are you going to get me thrown out?"
Golf cart accidents are
But you
one
know
of my
what?
favorite stories.
And he invited us back the next week.
Yeah.
And he just told me to bring a box of Band-Aids because he was going to give me another whooping, which he did.
In fact, he played ball with us too.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played in 35 Overleague in Little Falls, but the guy was an innovator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just had this knack that when he sat down and spoke with you, people they were in awe. It was a gift that he had,
Yeah.
and he was genuine in that. I mean, he would take people, an ordinary person off the street, turn him into a licensed realtor, make that realtor successful, and you'd say, wow, how did that person become who they became?
He was a visionary as well.
What did he do that was visionary?
Well, I'll tell you, I can attest to that.
Okay, good.
Back in our guest from last week, Fabio, was talking about the one real estate correction we had back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that hit everybody pretty hard. He came up with a program which was called the Blue Streak Program. And we had to go to every one of our properties that we had listed and saying, look, we're gonna do an auction to try to move these properties. So we need to know what's the bare minimum price you can live with, and we want to do a 1-day price change for this auction to drop it down to that. We ended up selling like 30 of our properties. That was unheard of back
Great
then.
idea, though.
Yeah, it was called the Blue Streak Program.
So while everybody else is hurting and singing the blues, he's going, well, we're just going to figure out a way to get around it and work out of it.
Man, I'm telling you, you know me, that me and you have gone through some mathematical exercises. This guy's brain can calculate numbers faster than any calculator I know.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it. Right, Bill?
Jealous of people like that.
He's won so many awards, and I've gone to several conventions with him. He won an award for his training program, which was Jumpstart. And this program, I mean, we're talking about GMAC all over the country. This program was the best that they saw as far as a training program. He was also named Man of the Year at the Meadowlands. In fact, Vince Carter was there, and Aflac.
Yeah, New Jersey Aflac Business Award.
In fact, Timmy just sent me the picture. I had lost it on my last telephone, but it was you know when you go and get a new telephone,
Yeah.
and they can't get all your pictures.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Just to name a few, Matt, in 1990, he won the New Jersey Outstanding Young Citizen Award. Phil McConkey used to play for the New York Giants.
yeah.
Correct.
Was there. He was one of the guest speakers there. He won that award. And then, as Bill said, in 2003, he won first place for Best of Show in Real Estate Training. He put together this whole real estate training guide when it was unheard of in the industry. And you're going back because things have evolved so much since the internet came into play.
Sure.
In 2006, he won the New Jersey Aflac Business Award, and in 2007, Blue GMAC Real Estate was number 5 in all real estate companies nationally.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now wait, so the training program that he did, was that just something that he would use internally, or was that something that people adopted all over the place?
Yeah, it was an 8-week program, and high accountability with the agents. We would give them lessons, as far as they had to, do certain things that week,
Right.
and report back to me. And then as long as they did that, we would move on to the second lesson,
Okay.
the third lesson, the fourth lesson.
Okay.
And by the end of it, they really should be making money if they took it serious.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So 2 months basically, and then you're making money.
And most people say you have to give the real estate business a 1 year.
Yeah. Right.
And he was trying to get these people on track in 8 weeks. And
That's
it
awesome.
happened a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because we've had guests on the show that said that it took them about a year before they started making money, and if only they had done this, if only they had known him,
Well, Charlie was a person who was more of a night owl. He did most of his productive work while the rest of us were
We're
sleeping.
sleeping, yeah.
And he would come in full of fire the next morning and say, "When did you do this?" So I did it last night. And Bill can tell you, because he was the national sales manager for Charlie. He kind of was the go-to guy throughout the whole company, throughout the 9 offices that were in New Jersey. And he had a saying with all his managers. The 3, what was it? Retain.
It was attract, train, and retain.
Okay.
That was his.
So in other words, you bring agents into the fold, okay? And the way you keep them is through providing them with that good training and keeping them highly motivated. He was a master at that. And so people, I mean, a businessman, right?
None better.
You don't get better than that. But he's the type of guy that he would give you the shirt off his back. He helped a lot of agents out that I never knew about until Bill shared it with me. And the guy just did a lot of things for a lot of people. He had a really, really big heart, but he was very, very high on integrity. He didn't like if someone lied to him. He wouldn't tell you that he knew that you lied to him.
Yeah.
But he knew that you did.
He would tell you. No, he would tell you.
Well, that's when he used to take Bill in for what I call root canals.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that later in the show.
Yeah.
He was the master dentist.
Dentist, yeah. He could drill.
He used to drill you and drill you and drill you. And
right.
And then when the Novocaine ran out,
it never wore off.
But it's just, and it was an honor. I mean, the personality, funny. I mean, the guy was just...
So he was just one of those guys, those rare guys that come
He would
around.
light up a room.
Yeah.
He can go into a conversation with strangers and all of a sudden engage in conversation, and before you know it, he's like their best friend.
He'd get up in front of maybe 1,000 people, okay, and do an impromptu, no problem. I mean,
He just ad-lib.
Right.
I mean, he was unbelievable. Unbelievable man.
So he had some amazing accomplishments that were really, really well deserved, because I'm going to tell you, he devoted a good part of his life to that, building that business. And then in 2009, he built it to a point to where it became so desirable that it attracted Coldwell Banker. Coldwell Banker, bought the business from, along with the agents that went along with the company.
And that's okay. So that's how you got in with Coldwell Banker.
That's correct. And that happened in October of 2009.
2009. I was there exactly 8 years before Coldwell Banker bought the.
And what did he do after that? Did he retire or no? He kept going.
Him retire. A guy like him, they don't retire.
Right. So what did he do?
He was like the Energizer Bunny.
Okay.
He started a company called Blue Asset Management.
Okay.
And he was buying, I guess, what they call
Tranches?
those
Money
loans.
pools.
Yeah, money pools.
People that were delinquent or people that got foreclosed on, you'd have to buy a pool of mortgages, and he got involved with guys, I guess, from Wall Street.
Exactly.
Okay.
And was doing asset management for all those portfolios, all those different portfolios. And it wasn't just limited to New Jersey. They went to other states
other
as well.
states.
Okay.
In that venue, when you are a real estate broker, there's a lot of things that you can do with those loans. You can either recast them, or you can let them do a short sale, or just plain foreclose on them. So, when you know the business and you buy those, they're called toxic loans, is what they're called. I mean, he did a great job with that.
Okay. Cool.
Then he had Blue Circle. which
Blue
was
Circle
a
Builders, yeah.
Blue Circle builder. I mean, he
Simultaneously, or did he?
No, he still has it.
He still has it.
Okay.
He has a crew of 4 guys that do all of his work on the rehabs that he buys.
Okay.
And anything that falls within that asset management, the assets that they're managing that needs work, that crew goes out there and performs all those different tasks. He owned a title company.
Okay.
He owned a home warranty company.
Wow.
I mean, he wanted his business, when he was developing his business, to be one-stop shopping. And again,
Yeah.
I'm going back into the 80s, 90s when that was unheard of.
Right. He was an innovator.
He was an innovator.
Yeah.
He was a visionary by far.
When you said that he would be up all night doing something, what time would he come into the office the next day?
He'd probably get in about 9:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That
sometimes
sounds
a little bit
reasonable.
earlier, yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell a funny story. I have to tell this story.
Absolutely.
I never played golf in my life.
Or driven a golf cart.
Correct.
Well, definitely not.
Wait. I first had to learn how to play on a par 3 golf course. There are no carts. You walk. So I didn't even know a golf cart existed.
Right.
So he says, you know what? We've worked hard all these years. Why don't we go take up golf? I said, yeah, why not? The only thing I played was miniature golf. So we would go to Lincoln Park, the swim club, and they had a par 3 there. Well, the first hole, you got to hit it over water.
Oh, forget about it. How many balls did you lose?
Too many. The guy said, I'm not giving you any more. You got to start buying them. So it ended up we were going every day. And it got competitive because we both started at the same time.
Right.
Then we graduated to the golf course in Lincoln Park called the Meadows.
I've heard of it.
More water than you want to think of on that course.
Is that on Two Bridges Road?
Yes,
Yeah,
water hazards galore.
That's
Okay.
a nice course.
And he was always competitive. So the last, I think it was the 17th hole, you had to shoot over water. I had him by like 6 strokes. I'm up there on the tee box. Water's in front of me. I'm going to pull my club back. He says, "Don't hit that water. Don't hit that water." I said, "Charlie, knock it off," because he was losing. You know? I pull the club back. I go to swing. He says, "Don't hit that water." Boom, right into the water. Now I'm lying 3 off the tee.
Yeah, sure.
I go in the water again. And yet again, he ended up winning the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Over
Then
the water.
it was so bad in the wintertime, we would have the Carhartt suits, those cold weather gear suits,
Yeah.
in our trunks. The sticks, the flagpoles were frozen in the ground.
Right.
We were on the course, and we were playing. All you had to do was hit the stick.
Wow.
That's how bad it was. And then he graduated to the country club, at which point in time was introduced to the golf cart.
Right.
You know, when I went out to Las Vegas with him, there was a Callaway three par. He gave me two strokes per hole. Do you know that I birdied 2 holes and I beat him? And he carried his bags all the way back to the hotel because we couldn't get a
Caddy?
a caddy. No, and we couldn't get it.
A cart?
We couldn't get a taxi.
Oh, a taxi.
Yeah. So, and he ended up carrying these bags all throughout the MGM studios. Yeah, I mean studios. The MGM hotel. Yeah.
Did they think he was a golf pro?
I don't know what he thought. we're in the casino with golf bags.
So it sounds like Charlie wasn't just a guy you worked with. He was a friend, like a genuine friend.
He's,
The best friend that anyone, would ever want. Believe me.
like I tell you, he would give you the shirt off his back.
Nice.
He really would. And that's why we're doing this, because we want people to know and love the same person that we were blessed to have known.
He was
And
like a brother, that.
he would do anything.
I mean, but it's nice to hear, because how many people do you work with that you would say that about,
Right.
And you'll hear from when we go into next week and when we conclude this tribute to him, and we're going to call people that actually worked with him and knew him, and you're going to hear from other people. The guy was he was loved by everybody. He left a lasting impression. Everybody that he came to touch with. I mean,
Things
Bill
that
was
he
just at a
did,
Jets game with him, what?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the Jets got killed.
But he didn't care. He used to love to go to the
Sure,
tailgates.
just had fun.
He did so many nice things for people. There was a girl that worked in one of my offices that it was losing her house, And he brought her mortgage current, and eventually she did pay him back. But that's the kind of guy he was. He just
Really?
I mean, he had a manager prior to me ever being there. I guess even Tim, that Arnie. And it seemed like that,
Arnie Rosenthal.
the guy ended up dying
Had pancreatic cancer.
and he
that's a bad one.
paid his wife for about a year, if you can believe
Really?
that, after he died.
Yeah.
Wow.
He had a big heart.
That's-
Wow. Yeah, really.
That's the kind of guy he
See,
was.
and that's a shame when they die so young like that, and they're a good person like that.
So
like
there's
a real,
truth to that. Only the good die young.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And we just, Bill and I, when we talked about it, I mean, it was like we're still in shock mode, and we just feel so bad for the family, his wife, his children. He has two grandchildren, and 59. He's just too young.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was born, Independence baby, July 4th, and I understand that Peter Cornell also shares that same
Yes, sir.
4th of July birthday.
Yeah, I mean,
And we used to laugh all the time because his anniversary, his marriage anniversary,
Right.
is April 1st.
April
How do
Fools.
you forget those two holidays?
yeah, right.
I was born on July 4th, and I was married on April 1st. It doesn't get better than that.
No, that's true.
Actually, it was his wife's birthday, I think, yesterday or today.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's so very close. It's just sometimes you just can't find the words to console people.
No.
It's only time can do that.
Right.
So,
Right.
but he was, and he'll always be in our hearts and in our minds for forever, every day. I don't think a day will go by that something is not going to remind us of him. I mean, he just played such an important part of our lives.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we went to the cemetery to see exactly where he was, because I know that me and Tim are probably going to go there and talk to him.
Absolutely.
You could play a little golf.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you, he got to the point where he got really, really good at it, and I got really, really bad at it.
And that was horrible.
And Bill sometimes could rattle him a little bit when we used to play.
Which was worse, your game, Bill, or
no,
his
Tim
golf
could-
cart driving?
My game was bad.
It was worse than his.
I was a softball player that hit everything to right field. Well, that's where the golf ball went, right field.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable! Just the memories and the times that we spent together, and he was always there for you, no matter what, no matter if it was personal, business. He'd pick up that phone. He would always be there for his agents,
Absolutely.
and it was equally that way with his family as well. I mean, his dad spent 5 years in a concentration camp.
Yeah, you had mentioned that before we started.
Yeah.
So his dad.
His father was such a beautiful person.
What was
His father
the
was a
country?
painter by trade.
Okay.
Yes. And his mom died much earlier than his father had passed away.
That's correct.
And I think they're both buried over in Israel.
Yeah, he took them over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And then during Charlie's dad's later part of his life, Charlie actually provided the care for his father. His father lived in Fair Lawn. Charlie would go there every day. He would make sure that his father was being cared for. Bill has a story about what happened one night about 11:30 at night.
Yeah, I got a call from Charlie at about probably 11:30. He says, "I need you to take a ride with me." He goes, "My dad went to the CVS store and he ended up in upstate New York." So, so we took a ride up there, and lo and behold, they had his dad, at the hospital, checking them all out. And Charlie had asked me to drive the car back and hide it from his dad. He's going to end up taking the driver's license away from him. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, here, one quick softball story, because we played in the 35 Overleague in Little Falls, and we won the championship five years in a row. And Charlie decided he wanted to play softball with us. Again, that competitive nature.
Right.
So he was the catcher.
Yeah, he did a good job.
And we had a guy that played center field, Frank Zukowski,
Wow.
that had an arm like if something was shot out of a cannon. So here it is. Balls hit the center field. The play's at home. Charlie's waiting for the throw. Frank on a line drive like a bullet. Charlie goes like this.
Broke his glove.
Broke his glove. Goes over his head, sticks in the backstop, and Charlie tags the guy, thinks that he has him out, only to find out that he doesn't have the ball. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was great. That's the way he's just a competitor. He was lefty, but he golfed righty.
Well, his politics shouldn't have anything to do with it. Whoa,
Hold on a second. Oh, we have Helen and Gina. We might as well talk to her.
Sure. Yeah.
Hold on. Helen,
Hey, Tim.
you're on the New Jersey Real Estate Show. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're just talking about our good friend and leader, Mr. Charlie Blumenkehl, and we're glad that you called in because we want to hear from other people so we can share who the man really was and what Charlie was all about. So thanks for calling in. Bill's here.
Hi, Helen. How
Hey,
you
Bill.
doing?
Yep, and we got our co-host Matt Josephs. He's also known as the voice of reason, so he's on the line too.
Hello, Helen.
Terrific.
So
Hi, how are you?
Anything
Good, how are
that
you?
you can share with our listeners, Helen, that will shed a little light on the true character of Charlie would be really, really nice.
Oh, I would love to.
And you started
I
working
think
for him when?
1992.
1992, okay.
Started working with him in 1992, and of course with you as well. And, Charlie was really more than a boss to me. He really was a friend and a mentor. Our office was really like a family.
And he made it. That's
I
the
felt-
atmosphere he provided.
Yeah, he definitely made it. We were all family to him, and he was family to us, and we were family to each other. His door was always open,
Yep.
for help or advice.
Right.
Or, just to give a little encouragement. He had great sayings that he always loved to say, and it would put a smile on my face when I would walk in there. He would always say, like, "What's happening?"
Right.
And, he would say things like, "Ride the wave," when you had some difficulty on a deal.
Yes,
But,
keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road and keep driving.
Yep. All those little sayings that
Yes.
he had would always
Yep.
make you laugh a little bit.
And every time you point the finger at someone, you have three pointing back at you.
Yep, that's right. He loved those kind of things.
Yep.
He was definitely, he was there for me, not only as a boss, but, in some of my worst times.
Yes, yes.
He was a friend and he was a support when my son was killed in a car accident, and, through the good times.
Yes, I remember that. That was a very, very tragic time, and
Awful story.
and we remember that all too well. And yeah, maybe you want to share how Charlie responded in that type of situation, because that really shows his true character, I believe.
He was there for me. He came to my house. He came to the service, and even he gave me. He actually gave me money towards his funeral, which was really
that's
something
amazing,
that
Helen.
he didn't have to do. He was just very good to me.
He was a beautiful person through and through. That's for sure.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And look how loyal we all were. Right? We stayed with him till the end.
Yeah, I always felt like going there was like going home.
Yep.
When you went there, and there was something about him that, when we'd get some difficult deal together, like, I'd love to tell him, and you could tell he would get all proud that you were able to do it. And, there's just something about it that's just, you don't see. He created an atmosphere. I mean, look, when he sold his business to Coldwell Banker, and people were crying. I mean, I was crushed. I was crying. People were crying. I mean, this wasn't just a place of business. This was,
it was a home.
Truly.
It was a home.
It was our home.
He did create that type of environment and atmosphere, and he was always there 100% to give full support whenever needed. And
he was just the best.
And he was also able to read if someone had a problem or if someone was off. He sensed that, and he all of a sudden would say, "You know what? Let's go for a ride."
Yep.
Take you for a ride. You'd come
countless
back,
times.
and everything was better.
Yeah, I mean, his door was always open. You'd walk in and start talking about stuff. He would, just lift your mood. He was just, he was a big presence.
Yes.
And he could set the tone for the whole office. He would come in and start joking around or just, just was an incredible guy. And, I always thought I'd see him again.
Yeah, yep.
Such a shock.
Well, remember all those office meetings he used to do when he'd come out with something new?
Yeah.
He would talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Tell us when he did those 27 deals in 1 month. Remember? Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
I mean, you know what? He had incredible stories. He had a gift. He had the gift of gab, and he had a gift for business. And, he was one of a kind for sure. Last time I saw him was last Valentine's Day. I ran into him at the store. He had like 4 bunches of flowers in his hand, and
right.
He saw me. I came around the corner and I saw him, and I put this stuff down. And he gave me a big bear hug. He was like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in so long,"
Right. Oh boy. Well, listen, Helen, we appreciate you calling in. That was very sweet of you.
Yeah,
And
of course. He'll never be forgotten. He'll always be in our hearts.
That's right.
And,
He's left a treasure chest of memories for us.
Trove.
He definitely did. His kids, he used to bring his kids in on the weekends, and they were, part of our family too.
Yeah,
I used to hang out. And,
Yep.
it's just,
Had to love
pray
him.
for him and his family.
Yeah.
Had to love him, Helen. Had to love him.
Yeah. So,
All right. Well, listen. You have a blessed evening, and again,
You too, Tim.
thanks for calling in, Helen. We really, really appreciate it, and I'm sure Charlie's looking down above, and he appreciates it as well.
I'm sure he does.
All right. You have a good evening.
God bless you guys.
Bye.
All right.
Bye, Helen.
Bye, Helen.
It's to hear everybody talking about. I kind of feel bad that I haven't met the guy. He sounds like a great guy.
By the time episode 2 ends, you'll really have a good feel for who he is. So
I hope so.
Well, it looks like we've reached the end of part 1 regarding our memories of Charlie Blumenkehl. Bill, it was both an honor and privilege having you here with me today as we pay respect and tribute to a wonderful man, husband, father, grandfather, good friend, and confidant.
Thank you, Tim.
Charlie, you'll always be sadly missed, but never forgotten, my friend. Charlie, when you left us on December 17th, 2016, the world lost a bright light, but heaven inherited an Olympic torch. Make sure you tune in to the New Jersey Real Estate Show next week as we conclude our tribute to our good friend and mentor, Charlie Blue. Bill and I want nothing more than for everyone to know how great he was and how many lives he's helped and touched. As always, we thank you for listening to the New Jersey Real Estate Show, and I'll leave you with 2 quotes, one from Charlie and one from me. Please realize that every time you point your finger at someone, you have 3 fingers pointing back at you. And let the fear and pain of losing inspire and motivate you to keep winning. Stay safe, my friends.